What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is yours truly, Fitz. How you guys doing? Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're going to go over something interesting. This is going to be an open discussion, so please comment in the comment section down below. I reply to all comments that weren't a reply, or I will simply love it, meaning I agree. So please comment down below. I want to know what you guys think about the topic at hand, because we're going to go over Jirachi, but more importantly, we're going to go over Charm, a new very quick move found in the game's code, but Charm doesn't do any damage. We'll also go over Giga Impact as well, and we need to also talk about Yawn, because Yawn is Slacking's only quick move, fast move, and then now we have Snorlax with Yawn. Of course, they released Pokemon Sleep as being a thing, and it might be tied together, but something is up, so we need to talk about it. So, first off, let's go over the two new moves. Like I said, we have Charm as the first ever very fast move, and we have Giga Impact, a normal charge move. So let's go over Charm. Pulled up Bulbapedia here. Charm in the main series game, it's a fairy move, but it doesn't do any damage at all. And there we go. It doesn't do any damage at all. Charm is a normal type move. Well, not a normal type. This is Gen 5, so let's go down farther. Charm is a fairy type move. Its effects are the same. So what it does is it lowers the attack stat of the target by 2 stages. Okay, you guys can see that. Lowers the attack stat of the target by 2 stages. So this is kind of where things get interesting. There's one of two approaches I think Niantic could take. Niantic could make Charm do damage somehow. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm really not. Or they can introduce status effects and make Charm deal some type of paralysis. I don't know if I said that right. Paralysis. There we go. And I think that would be cool. And that's only going to be for PvP. So that means, for an example, you keep using Charm, and every time you use Charm, you have a chance to paralyze your opponent for, let's say, the next 3 turns. Or the next 5 seconds, something like that, either time-based or turn-based, that your opponent cannot move because it's paralyzed. But it's interesting to think of because this move does nothing like that. It lowers the opponent's attack by 2 stages. That will simply never happen in Pokemon Go. There's no way a quick move will lower an opponent's attack stat constantly. There's no way. It would literally dwindle it down to 0, doing no damage in pretty much 5 turns or so. So that can't happen. So what's the deal? It's either going to do damage, which would be fine. We can't argue that. That would be awesome. But when it comes to the main series games and it not doing damage, it would be extremely weird. So I want to know what you guys think Charm will do in the comment section down below. And we're going to kind of go over what kind of Pokemon can learn Charm. If we look here, already in this article, I will link it down in the description down below. Some notable Pokemon that can learn Charm: Togetic, so that could be good for Great League. Granbull is good for Great and Ultra League. Routes and Kirlia, notice there's no Gardevoir there. Plusle, Minun, Illumise, Luvdisc, Latias. That's interesting because that Fairies does super effective damage to Dragon types, but if it can do Paralyze, that would make Latias pretty good in the Ultra and Master League. Pachirisu, Lopunny, Perugly, Mesprit, that's interesting, and Manaphy. So kind of a very interesting, chart of Pokemon. But let's go ahead and look at what Bulbapedia says, and it is not responding. There we go. So if we look at Bulbapedia, we got Eevee, Pichu, Cleffa, Igglybuff, Togepi, Togetic, Snubbull and Gramble, Teddiursa, Phanpy, Routes, Kirlia, Azurill, Skitty, Plusle, Minun, Illumise, Wynot, Luvdisc, Latias, Pachirisu, Baniri, and Lopunny, Glameow and Perugly, Happiny, Mesprit, and then we're kind of getting into the next gens, which we won't go into. But let's see by breeding. So Bulbasaur, Nidoran female, Vulpix alone form, Oddish, Meowth, Meowth alone form, Ponyta, Eevee, Snorlax, wink wink hint hint, Sentret, Zigzagoon, Shroomish, Plusle Minun, yep, Munchlax, Finian, Lillipup. Okay, we're getting to more generations. And then by a special move, I don't know what the heck that is, Dugtrio, Golduck, Houndour. Yeah, so you guys get the idea. Not very many good Pokemon, right? Now let's go back into Yawn. Slacking Community Day, slack off, but all we care about is slacking. Community Day is coming up, and it's getting Body Slam. That's been leaked, pretty much confirmed. Unless Niantic changes it, we're getting Body Slam. But Yawn in the main series game puts your opponent to sleep. It is a move that doesn't do any damage that can put your opponent to sleep, which kind of hints potential status effects. Maybe sleeping will do the same thing as paralysis, where your opponent cannot move, cannot do damage in 5 turns, 5 seconds, whichever Niantic decides to do. And I think this is a very good possibility for PvP. Again, this won't be viable for like raids and gym battles and stuff like that, but PvP could make it a lot more fun. Because remember, there are a lot of people that do not participate in PvP because it is not like the main series games. There's no status effects. There's just now like buffs and debuffs, and that, you know, with the attack and defense, you know, raising and lowering. So that's starting to get in there. But there's a lot of things that aren't in the PvP system for Pokemon Go that people just don't like, and that's why they don't like to play it. So there are people like that. So status effects, I think, are very important, and I think sleep, it would be a smart move. It would make slacking actually usable in PvP. It really would. It really would. It would make even some of these poopy Pokemon that aren't very good, it would still make them viable. Snorlax can learn it. So it's interesting to see how these moves will end up being implemented. I'm really hoping for status effects. That would be great. Lastly, let's talk about Giga Impact. Giga Impact is basically the the Hyper Beam of physical attacks. In the main series, it does 150 damage, while our Hyper Beam does 150 damage. And as far as what Pokemon can learn it, pretty much everything under the sun. Watch this. I'm just going to scroll down. Pokemon that can learn it by TM. You ready? Oh, we reached the bottom. Yeah, so this is a move just like Hyper Beam. Almost everything under the sun can learn it. Why would this be a good thing? Well, if it ends up being a move that is a lot quicker than Hyper Beam takes forever to go off. But if this is a very, very, very fast charge move, like Stone Edge, for example, and it does 150 damage, you cannot ignore this as a move in Pokemon Go for whether it's raids, gym battles, or maybe even PvP. If it is a quick, hard-hitting move, whether you're doing stab or not, whether you're doing super effective damage, because you won't be. Normal moves do neutral damage or not very effective damage. If you're doing neutral damage and you're using it with a Pokemon that hits hard, hits heavy, like Rayquaza, for example, you're going to deal a lot of damage, guaranteed. And if it's quick, like in raids, like I said, if it's a quick move that goes off, you're still dealing a ton of damage. So this could be not game-breaking, but it could be game-changing. We'll have to see what Niantic ends up doing. So let me know in the comment section down below if you guys think that, well, if we need status effects. I personally think so. This is definitely a step in the right direction. Do you think Charm should poison or paralyze? I think it should paralyze. Yawn, sleeping, I mean, come on. That would make slacking and other Pokemon that have Yawn, not just Snorlax, if they introduce it to more Pokemon, viable in PvP. And then Giga Impact. I hope it's a very quick hitting move. It could definitely shake some things up. That's what we need in Pokemon Go. We need some change. We need some variety. We need something different. Make sure you subscribe too if you haven't done so already. Be a part of the Fitz City fam and smash that like button. That's the boy Fitz City. I'm signing off. See you guys in the next Pokemon Go video.